Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Energize Delaware's Facebook Live. My name is Angie Bivens. I am an energy advisor with a few of Energize Delaware's residential programs. So I've got some guests with me on today, but before we jump into that, I like to tell you a little bit more about Energize Delaware, who we are and what we do. So we are a nonprofit organization with 16 programs all around energy efficiency. So as I weekly say, if you have a home, a church, a building, a boat, just kidding about the boat, but a home, church, community center, if you have any type of building in the state of Delaware and you want to make it more energy efficient, then you definitely want to contact us first. We've got resources, we've got incentives, we've got all types of different things to help you be energy efficient. So you can check out our website 24/7 at energizedelaware.org, or you can always give us a call Monday through Friday during normal business hours at 877-524-1339. Again, 877-524-1339. So getting to my guest on today. No, it is not just two random people. I feel so honored to have two of the best instructors at Delaware Tech. I am joined on today by Dan Casper and Jennifer Clemens they are instructors within the Energy Technologies Department for Delaware Technical and Community College. Good afternoon, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Awesome. So at this time, I am going to turn the floor over to them so they can tell us more about the offerings from Delaware Tech. Floor is yours, guys.
Thanks, Angie. We're really excited to be here today. We're doing our best to remain socially distant. We're very careful about COVID precautions here at Delaware Tech. All right, so again, I'm Dan Casper. I'm an instructor in the Energy Technologies program, and I teach at the Stanton campus in Newark, Delaware. This is Dr. Jen Clemens. She is the department chair down here at the Dover, the Terry campus at Delaware Tech. And we're here today to talk to you about our energy technologies programs that we offer at Delaware Tech. And we want to start by, first of all, introducing our mission, which drives everything that we do at Delaware Tech. Students are at the center of everything we do at Delaware Tech. We're very student focused, we're student centered. All the decisions that we make, all of these precautions that we're taking, all of this new building that we're going to show you is all designed to help students, empower students, change their lives through these comprehensive educational opportunities and support services. So we do value all individuals and provide an inclusive environment. We foster equity and student success across the board. And so we're here to talk to you about our energy technology. So we're in this beautiful energy training center, only a few years old. And we actually have another building very similar to this at the Stanton campus up in Newark. And so in addition to having a really nice, beautiful, comfortable building with great natural light, we don't even have any lights on right now. As you can see, it's really pleasant. They're all LEED certified buildings as well. So they're top of the line efficiency and other sustainability aspects. But what's really cool about our programs is that these buildings were designed to actually be educational tools for our students. So not only do we have some nice classrooms and lab spaces and so forth, but the buildings themselves serve as classrooms. So we're constantly bringing students out into the building in addition to teaching them in the labs and so forth. So it's really, you're constantly learning just by being in the building and spending time in the building. And it's designed to do that analysis by capturing data all over the place and so forth.
This is really a living lab. So you can see above Dan's head, you can see some of the piping for the building. And that's on purpose because we're learning and teaching how buildings use energy. So rather than hiding it underneath drop ceilings like you see in most places, we're really showcasing it. So in a few minutes, we're going to give you a tour of the lab so you can really see this. But it's really a living lab here.
And so, first of all, I'm going to kind of introduce, what energy technologies means. And so, as you can see here, we have 3 degree programs: energy management, renewable energy solar, and then building automation systems, or BAS. We'll get into some more details about what each of these entail and what they mean. But the idea here is these aren't just we don't just prepare you for a job. We do prepare you for a job. We prepare you to start from day one. But also, in a wider sense, we all believe that we need to address all of our modern energy problems and address all of the associated sort of sustainability impacts of our modern energy use. And we'll get into a couple of details of what we mean by that in a minute. But so overall, with all these three programs, the idea is to work in a field that provides cutting edge sustainable energy solutions while saving money, reducing environmental, social health, and economic impacts of energy use. And really, we like to think, we do prepare our students for jobs today. They're job ready from day one. But as you probably are aware, the energy field is very broad. It's changing literally every day. So we're not only preparing our students for the jobs of today, but also for the jobs of tomorrow. And just to give you a little sense of why, we could get into a lot more detail here, but the chart on the left here just shows you where we get our energy from in the US. The quick story here is about 80% of our energy comes from non-renewable sources. About 90% of our energy comes from non-renewable sources, and about 80% of our energy comes from fossil fuels alone. So you can see this little slice of renewable energy is about 10 to 11%. And then, of course, it's widely accepted that the most important sustainability issue of our time is climate change. And if you look at the emissions that are scientists, the consensus are leading to climate change. Energy use is about 75 to 80% of all of our climate-based emissions come from energy use. So that actually drives a lot of what we do here. It goes beyond just preparing people to work in the field, but we want people to be able to address these really important problems. And there's also some recent research that just came out actually a couple of weeks ago that found that 1 in 5 deaths globally are due to fossil fuel pollution. So this is really a pretty startling statistic that was in some peer-reviewed research. So it's not just about climate change. It's not just about money and jobs. It's about human health as well. And just to give you a sense of where we're at, the chart on the left is our, the dotted line that's going up is our projected emissions if we just keep doing what we're doing globally. And then this is from the United Nations, from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And they're saying basically, pretty clear, right? We're going that way. We need to go the other direction and really fast. The consensus is by 2050, we need to be basically carbon neutral. So not emitting any carbon emissions overall globally. It takes a long time to get there. So we need to be continuing to change in that direction right away. So there are some really important problems that we address. But in all of this crisis lies opportunities. And we recognize that. And there's some research that was out fairly recently that showed up to 20 to 30 trillion dollars of potential benefits by changing to the new renewable energy economy. So there's a lot of jobs in this. There's a lot of money to be saved. There's a lot of lives to be saved. There's a lot of positive impacts to be made by doing a lot of the things that we train students to do here. So again, if this is a field where we're working on cutting edge sustainable energy solutions. We're saving people money, reducing all of these environmental, social, health, and economic impacts of energy use. So we do address a lot of these problems, but it's not all like, there's a lot of really important problems, and we do talk about that and how we address those solutions, but we do a lot of really great, interesting and fun stuff as well. One of the really cool things is, if you're not aware, Delaware Tech has a really robust study abroad program. Over a decade, we've been offering these study abroad programs. Jen and I have both personally taken students abroad, and we've both developed courses that focus on not only traveling and experiencing local cultures, but also learning about a lot of the issues that we just talked about, from sustainability and renewable energy and so forth. So it's not a requirement for our students, but as it turns out, a majority of our students, of our graduates, of our energy technologies programs do take advantage of one or more study abroad courses, including one that we've offered about 4 or 5 times now that we go and study renewable energy in Switzerland. And then we've also recently developed one that focuses on general sustainability, and we go to Italy, Rome, and the Amalfi Coast, and some other really nice places. So there are other opportunities other than training for jobs and learning how to do the jobs of today and the jobs of tomorrow, we do everything we can to broaden our students' horizon, offer these opportunities from study abroad to we go to we'll take local field trips to see energy efficient buildings and solar arrays and so forth. So we do try to broaden our students' horizons as much as possible. And so, a lot of times what we get the question, is this a good fit for me? Are these programs a good fit for me? Because it's still can be a little bit fuzzy, like what this really means once you get out there in the world. So we kind of boil it down to a few questions. I mean, the primary one is, do you want to make money, help others save money, and address sustainability? We do a lot of real world problem solving. Everything we do, most of the stuff we do is hands-on. We do problem-based learning. We go into buildings and figure out how they work and how to design a solar array, and we actually do a lot of the work. It's definitely focused on sustainable energy sources. We do a lot of analysis, so we like students. We find the students that are really successful here have very analytical minds. Like, they like to problem solve, they like to figure things out. But we also, again, we address the broader picture, like what, learning about sustainability and all of these impacts of human behavior on the environment and society. So we do give you the big picture, but also the practical aspects of these things. And in a general sense, we don't just teach you how to do things, but we sort of teach you why it's important, help you understand why it's important to do a lot of these things. And just in general, I know we know a lot of young folks in particular, they want to be a part of the solution. And we do our best to offer that to all of our students, to be a part of the solution moving forward from an energy and sustainability perspective. So just to give you a little bit better sense of what energy management, renewable energy, solar, and building automation systems are, and what it means. So energy management, the easiest way to think about it, every building needs energy, right? So from what Angie was saying, right? So churches and industrial facilities, commercial buildings, residential buildings, they all use energy. And so our energy management students, what we do is when you graduate, you're able to walk into just about any building, assess how it's using energy, and make very specific recommendations of how to reduce that energy use and save money. And we teach you to analyze and figure out how you can reduce emissions, how much money, and all that. And in a general sense, we do a lot of analytics, we do a lot of sustainability, and you also learn about renewable energy in general. So you basically learn how to analyze how a building works. And then Jen, do you want to explain kind of what solar?
So we also have a degree in renewable energy solar, and I'm the primary solar instructor here at the college. And a lot of people think they know what solar is, and they think the solar jobs are putting solar on the roof, right? I'm scared of heights. I don't do heights, and I'm the solar instructor. I'm scared of heights. There are a lot of jobs in the solar industry that do not involve putting panels on the roof. So our program is designed to align to the NABCEP technical sales exam, which is, it sounds like a sales, but it's a lot more design and site assessment. So before you would ever, Angie, before you would ever put solar on your house, you're going to call one of our graduates maybe, and they're going to ask you questions about your home. Take a look at your utility bills, look at your roof orientation, look at your shading, and they can get a lot of information just from Google and just from some of the information you could provide to prepare an initial proposal. How big of a system could they put on your roof? Why are you interested in going solar? Do you want to offset 100% or as much as you can fit on the roof? Those kinds of questions. So that's really the jobs that we're preparing our students for, is that technical sales. So it's a lot more, again, data analytics, sustainability. We're looking at the data. We're crunching a lot of data. And navigating the whole permitting process and also the grants that you're eligible for. It really depends on who your utility provider is and navigating the renewable energy credits that as a customer you would be eligible for. So these are the types of jobs that we're really preparing our students for, which are a little higher value jobs than just putting panels on a roof. So it's really kind of this misconception that, oh yeah, I don't want to work on a roof, or yeah, I don't want to be outside all the time. Most of our graduates are working more in the field, working with customers and evaluating their property or so on for whether or not it will be good for solar and what size systems. And our newest degree is building automation. So this degree just started, I think, in 2014. And building automation systems is really kind of the overarching control systems that operate the different systems in your home. So we're on the Delaware Tech campus right now. And in our building, when I go to the bathroom, the lights turn on, right? So some of you have been somewhere like that. There's a control system that has a motion sensor that the lights turn on and off. When we come into the building's comfortable, all right? That doesn't mean we're heating and cooling the building all day. There's a schedule in the building that allows, it turns it on and off depending on when it's going to be operated. So building automation systems are really these overarching systems that run our HVAC systems, our fire safety systems, our security systems, digital video. You know, a lot of people have a Nest or the Ring doorbell. All of these systems now operate together. So not just on the small scale, in my home, I can turn the lights on and off, and I can turn the thermostat right on my phone, but also on a large scale in commercial buildings, large. That's what we're training our students to work in this field. This is one of the newest fields. This is a really, there's a lot of jobs in this field. This is a really quickly growing field. It requires some programming, some wiring, some understanding of HVAC, because our HVAC systems are a big energy consumer in our commercial buildings and our residential buildings. Not necessarily install and maintenance. That's not what this is. This is understanding how they work so we can make them work more efficiently.
Yeah, and one of the really great things about this field is you're not locked into a single job. We have a very prestigious graduate that's working for Franklin Energy, where Angie works as well. We actually have a graduate that's working for DENREC in the state of Delaware. We have folks that work for utilities, for residential energy auditing, weatherization assistance program, where they're addressing low-income energy issues. Tesla, we even have one of our graduates is doing basically business analytics for Wawa, working in the nonprofit sector. So it's really great. There's just a variety of things that you can do in this field, and it's hard. I mean, I get it. And I'm still not 100% sure. What I may do later for work later. It's understandable to not know what you want to do exactly when you graduate. And that's a really great thing about this energy field and this sustainable energy field. It's so broad that people are all, there's options to work in that nonprofit sector, the public sector, the private sector, do finance, do sales, whatever you're into. You want to work in the field. We have a graduate in solar that's out in the field all day, changing out inverters and changing wires and panels. So there's a lot of options, and it sort of fit what you want out of the career. And there's a lot of lateral and upward movement in this in these programs. So it's really nice to have those options. We do our best here to offer as many options as we possibly can for you while you're studying and after you graduate. We have connected degree programs with Wilmington University. We have some folks that have went on to graduate at Penn State University and other universities around the country. And so a lot of our students end up working in the field. They pursue a 4-year degree. Maybe they end up in a different field. But it is a rapidly changing field. And as I said earlier, we don't just teach you how to do things, we teach you why. And that sort of helps, you have a better understanding of how everything works together and why this is so important. Understanding the financial side, the economic side, the social side of things. It helps prepare you for all of these various jobs that are out there. And so we have found that our students have been very successful in a wide variety of fields.
One more thing I want to add, pre-COVID, we had 100% job placement. Right? 100% job placement. And I can tell you, I have one student that graduated in December and he's looking for a job. So that's why I can't say it currently, it's 100%. So there are a lot of jobs in this field, and it's not just jobs, these are careers. These are careers that you can support a family on. Very, very decent wages that you can support a family sustaining wages.
Right, so I think that's about all we need to say about our degree. So if we have a little bit of time, Angie, can we show a little bit of all the really cool stuff that our students get to use from day one? So
do you want to talk? I think the person who's here should talk.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, so we need to stop share.
Stop share. Okay, so we're gonna switch cameras here, do our best, and we're gonna show you a little bit of our equipment. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna, should have hired a camera person for this. Okay, so first, we have our lighting setup here. Looks like it's pretty good. So what's really cool about this is, Jen can sort of show, so this was custom built by one of our other instructors. And this shows the impact of different types of lights on the same. So all six, there's six displays here that are identical. And I apologize, it's a little bit hard to see, but I want to keep the camera steady, so I'm not going to pick it up. They're identical, but the walls, everything looks different in each of these setups. And that's only because of the type of light that's shining on the walls. So there's things like that where you show both how the lighting impacts the appearance of the room, from your CFLs, your LEDs, your metal halides, and so forth. But also, Jen sort of showed that they're plugged into what's called a kilowatt meter, which I know Angie loves, right? So it shows you the power that each of these lights are using at the same time, right? So again, it's showing you the impacts of these different types of lighting, both from a appearance, but also from the energy perspective. And of course, we teach you how to do all the calculations to calculate the energy savings. I'm going to swing around just a little bit here. Hopefully you can see this. So we have a lot of trainers, a lot of these big trainers. So this is a solar trainer, a solar thermal trainer. Okay, so this is a solar thermal trainer. So there's panels back there Jen is pointing to. What's really cool is the panels above at the very top it's basically artificial sun. So those things are these really high power, don't get mad at us for the energy, so they're like kilowatts, right? So they're the sun. And then those panels absorb the sunlight. And then down here is the trainer to show you how a solar thermal system works. So this is solar hot water. There's a heat exchanger.
Hot water storage. If you had a solar thermal system in your house, you would have a similar system.
So it's a miniature version of what you would have in your house. So again, we train them how to troubleshoot it and how to do other aspects of it. And so here we have some more trainers. A little difficult to see, but those are some of our solar trainers. So that's a grid side trainer for solar photovoltaic.
Next, you would have, if you had a system in your house. So this is kind of modeling what you might have in your garage or wherever you have all your electrical panels and so on. So inverter DC to AC, the switches, so we can teach them lockouts about safety things you really need to think about. This is a simulator, so again, we got our fake sun over here.
So another fake sun.
Over behind us, but the weather doesn't always cooperate when we do a lab day. So we need to have that kind of big sun just in case weather doesn't show up with us.
Yep, and so we have some more solar trainers here. We have there's a giant solar hot water tank. There's just stuff everywhere. You can see everything, but another solar trainer. And you can see sort of some of the equipment that we use as well, all over here. And this is a brand new lab space. So, and you can sort of see the ductwork in that image. So all of these things we have data loggers on. So we're actually constantly monitoring the energy use and the cost implications and so forth. We can get up on the roof and look at all of the heating and cooling equipment. So everything here is designed to be a classroom, as we said earlier. And so the one other thing we wanted to show you is we recently had a three-dimensional picture taken of our BAS lab. So we can't really get over to the BAS lab. But here's a three-dimensional picture. So this is the Building Automation System Lab. All brand new, built 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago. So
So
this whole lab is just a classroom. I mean, the students are just always wiring things up and monitoring things.
So yeah, so what we have right here, this guy right here, this is what our BAS capstone students are working on. They're given a bare air handler and they are told wired up. So the students are running the wire, they're running the program, and their final project here is really to create the training manual and training schedule for the facilities, just like we would, hey, we had a new system installed on our campus and the contractor came out and, you know, this is what they did and they would train our facilities guys. So as you can see, our program is very hands-on. It is very hands-on. But these images are really cool because we can look in, so you can see into one of the control boxes here. So this is what students will be working on. This is the control system that runs your HVAC system or your lighting system, or, you know, you're not crawling through these big air handlers. You're programming these things. And let's see, here's another image of that, the other side of that lab. So again, you can see it's very industrial looking on purpose because we want to learn how buildings use energy. So we're showing it off, right? We're not hiding it behind those drop tiles or drop ceilings. But there are 3 large air handlers in there for training. And then again, the capstone students, they wired up, they put the VAV boxes on, they do the whole thing. So this right now, BAS, a lot of jobs out there, and they're really good paying jobs.
Yeah, this is one of the most rapidly expanding fields in the energy field. I mean, they can't hire the graduates fast enough. I mean, they're all, I mean, Delaware and other states and nationally, internet, I mean, there's just jobs everywhere in the building automation system field. And I think it's, you know, it's underappreciated in that.
It's one of those jobs that people don't know about.
They just don't know about.
But
right?
you know about it when it doesn't work, right? When you have to call somebody. But these are really high paying jobs. And after a couple of years, the students are making probably more than we are, quite frankly. And the closest college to us that has anything like this is Penn College in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So a lot of the companies in the region, they're recruiting from Penn College. Again, that's, you know, 4 hours away or so. So there's not many other schools that have this, but there's a job at the end of this. There's a good paying job at the end of this program.
Okay, well, I think that's all we have, Angie. I don't know if there's any questions.
Oh yeah, we definitely have some questions. So before we jump into those really quickly though, I just want to give you both a huge thank you. Like, I've seen these, I've been in up in the Stanton campus, I've been in the building and I was just blown away because it was my first time seeing everything, as you said, not behind the tiles. So that was amazing. But to even see how much more you guys have expanded, woo, it's just great. Okay, for everybody else who's probably like, why is she so excited? This is like the Chuck E. Cheese for anyone who's into energy. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Don't steal that though. So you do have a few questions. So the first one said, how do you help students get placed in good, sustainable jobs in Delaware and other places?
So we require all of our students to do a work experience, so that whether that's a co-op or an internship, that is a requirement of the program. But we really start with that like in the first semester. So students usually do it either the summer between their first and second year or towards the end of their program. But beginning in their first semester, we ask them to do informational interviews. So I don't know if Angie, if you've ever been called by one of our students, but sometimes they do reach out to people in the industry to do an informational interview before they're ever looking for a job, right? Just to explore, to do some research on the careers out there and start building that network. I do oversee most of the co-ops, at least on this campus, or the internship, work experience, whatever you want to call it. And usually they work with their instructor or myself, and we give them a lot of leads. But I also, there was a link on that jobs slide. We send out every job that we get, Dan or I get told about or we find on LinkedIn or Indeed or whatever. And about once a month, we send out a massive email to all of our students. So all of our students are on a listserv that they, a lot of them remain on after they graduate. They change their email to their personal email, because a lot of times we find jobs that, hey, you know, a graduate might not be ready, but somebody after 3 or 5 years with a couple years experience might want to change as well.
And I would say, you know, as a requirement, they are working in the field at least part-time as a requirement before they graduate. The majority of our students, I would say, anecdotally, without looking at the numbers, most of our students end up working for that company. It's a really great way to sort of, it's a tryout in both directions, right? So the student gets to try out like, hey, do I like this job? Do I like this company? Without a full commitment. And then the company gets the same thing. So they try out our students, and usually they end up hiring them because they recognize the skills that they have. And then it's just, a lot of times it's that smooth transition. Now that doesn't always happen. So we also have career services here. So we do work with students one-on-one. We have a career services counselor that will help them refine their resume and find jobs. So we have a lot of other resources other than just Jen and myself, especially with career services, to help them learn how to get a job, how to do interviews. We have things like Big Interview and so forth where we get practice. We also, every year, so anyone that's out there, we have a career fair every year up at the Stanton campus that's energy and engineering technology. So we have upwards of 50 to 60 employers come in just to talk to our students and also graduates. So it's open to anybody. But that's a really good way to network. So we do everything we can to provide those opportunities, to provide those networking opportunities and prepare them you know, for entering the job field right away.
And this, I just have to give our testimonial from my end, and just to confirm everything they're saying. Because, you know, sometimes colleges will tell you stuff and they might inflate their numbers a bit. And you're like, but I can definitely say with Delaware Tech, I know I received one of your interns when I was in a different position with another company in Delaware. And I got to watch that same intern grow. And you're right, now they work directly as an auditor within the company I'm in as a paid employee. So to see that graduation happen was amazing. And they were very well trained by you, and then got to come right into the field and just go for broke. So that's probably got to be my favorite part about our field in general, that you can come in not knowing anything, get a little bit of training, and just take right off. So love that, love that. Let me get to this other question. So the other question said, what else do you need to do to promote and support clean and renewable jobs in Delaware? So what else, what else do we need to do to promote and support clean and renewable jobs in Delaware?
So if it's something that you are, as a concern of yours, a lot happens at the policy level, at the state level, at the national level, but also at the local level too. So I think a lot of the state, a lot of things that the state does flies under the radar. So there's everything. I mean, it's not just about energy. So that's of course the focus. But if you look at like the climate action plan for the state, you look at your county's comprehensive plans, which are, at least in Newcastle County, is coming up soon. So there's other things. So there's a lot that relates to everything uses energy, right? So just for example, Newcastle County they're having some of their planning meetings for the comprehensive plan. And they're talking about like, do we put bike paths in? What do we do about public transportation? That all relates to energy as well. But they're looking at the building codes, the development codes. Like, are we providing open space? Are we mandating certain efficiency levels for all new buildings that go in? You look at a state like California, where they mandated all new residential buildings have to have solar on them, right? And we have so there's a lot of it at the policy level, and all of those policies kind of all intertwined. So you start local, and then you have regional, you have your city council person, you have your state rep, you have your state senator, and they all sort of overlap. And I think it's really important to pay attention to what's going on at all of those levels and talk to your local representative, because they make an impact that sort of makes that impact on the way up. So if we can push the grassroots, the policy side of things is really important. But also just if you as an individual, again, if this is something you're concerned about, look into renewable energy, look at solar on your roof. So the more, I don't know, everyone out there remembers 15 years ago, it was like, what are these weird looking things on my roof, right? And now everyone's like, hey, where do I get solar? How do I get solar? We go out and do these audits.
And the price has come down. As more people do it, the price comes down. And we're seeing the same thing with electric vehicles as well, right? As you know, the economies of scale, you build more, it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And, you know, 10, 15 years ago, only the very, very rich could afford solar. And,
right.
you know, now it is affordable and, you know, a reasonable payback that you're going to see in, you know, a few years.
So as more people take advantage of these opportunities and just sort of make it normal, right? Like make it normal to talk about climate change, make it normal to talk about renewable energy jobs. Like it's important. It impacts everybody. And if you are a young person out there, get in the field. This is the future. Like we have to do it. According to the science, like we need to change the way we get our energy. So get in the field, be passionate about it. We talk to, it's interesting. When you talk to employers, a lot of them, what they say is one of the key characteristics for people in this field are they want them to just believe in it, to be passionate about it, and not just like it's not just a job. And they recognize, and their experience has been, employees come out and they're like, I just want to make some money, you know, whatever. I want to get in, get out, make my money. Like it doesn't necessarily last for them. The ones that it really resonates with, the ones that really do well in this field and that make this positive impact, they really believe in what they're doing, and that's making a difference beyond just making some money. So I would say just, you know, stay passionate about it, talk about it, keep it on the radar, and keep making, you know, personal decisions, and then, you know, again, pushing at that policy level too, I think is really important.
Great answers. Thank you so much. Great answers. And I definitely agree with the policy level, doing some additional work myself, you know, more for energy equity, but still in general, like there's a lot going on right now, and energy is a big topic. So I'm so glad that you brought that piece into it as well. So I've got one more question, and someone said, hi, Dan. It looks like one of your.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, look, no, not Chris yet.
Oh,
Look,
no,
she's
okay.
probably gonna be like, oh. But someone did say it was good to see you on here. So it looks like maybe an old classmate, whether it be of yours or someone that you had. So yeah.
Great.
Last question that's listed says, how do you align your training with conventional building trades and contractors? So how do you align your training with conventional building trades and contractors?
So is that kind of like how, I wonder how they're working in?
Yeah, I think it might be like, how are you staying current with them?
Yeah, okay.
With the contractors and everything.
I mean, there's always a new code. So at least for solar, the NEC code, it comes out every 3 years, and you know, we have to update as Delaware adopts NEC code every, you know, couple years.
Yeah, I mean, so right, so the codes are really important. So we keep up as much as we can, but because building codes do change as well. But one of the really important ways that we do this, in fact, we just did this week, is we have an advisory board made up of professionals, mostly in the state of Delaware, some other local regional folks as well. So we meet with them twice a year, very, you know, so as a 2-year degree program, we're able to stay more flexible, right? So this is a constantly changing field. Look at solar, look at all that's happening in solar. Now look what's everything happening in the national policy level from energy efficiency standpoint. So we try to stay current, and one of the best ways that we do that, like we can, right, like we can do so much here. So we look at the experts that are actually out there hiring. They're like, look, this is what's going on in the industry right now. This code's not ready yet, but guess what? This is coming down the pike, you know, a year from now or 6 months from now. So we're always like twice a year, very deliberate. What do we need to teach our students? What do they need to know? What's going to make them employable? What skills, what knowledge, what do they need to do? So we very deliberately ask the folks that are actually hiring students in the industry that's to me one of the best ways to stay current, other than like we're just our heads are in this space all the time. But we really do try to get the industry perspective and bring that to our students and bring that to our courses. And we will a lot of times have local professionals in the industry come and guest speak in our classes. So it's good to hear other voices that are out there in the field. So that's kind of, to me, that's the way that I stay current for more than anything else.
And what we've been hearing for the last year is ventilation, right?
Right.
You know, currently ventilation is more important than energy efficiency. So, you know, we're bringing in more outside air for building health, but this might be something we did talk about yesterday as well. It's like healthy buildings. We're seeing like which buildings can be ventilated properly and which can't. Like there's a lot of schools that can't follow the new ASHRAE standards and so on. So I think healthy buildings coming for indoor air quality, this is something we're going to be talking about, not just this year, but for a longer term that maybe we should have been talking about before as well.
Well, thank you both again so much. Oh my goodness. So it's been so much information has been flying around, which like, I love it. I love it. I feel like this was the love on Del Tech for a moment piece. But truly, I know you guys are cranking out amazing students. Like I said, I've seen it myself, and just what comes out of your department is incredibly impressive. So before we actually close out, I did just want to give you a space. Well, right before I give you space, let me first ask my final question, which is if someone is interested more into your technology department, the energy technologies department, how can they get in contact either with you or someone else at Del Tech to find out more?
So I'm going to put a short link in the chat.
Sure. And if you want to send that to me right after this, I'll make sure it ends up in the comment area as well.
Yeah, so there's a short link, go.dtcc.edu/energy. And I will go back to share my screen so you can see that. There's a lot of information. There's a really nice little 3-minute commercial about what our 3 programs are. And if you scroll down here, it has a little bit about our program, our facilities. So right now we're in the Terry campus. There's my contact information. I'm at the Terry campus, but there's also really cool information. There's alumni spotlights. So you can hear about graduates and some of the events we have done in the past. So some of the stories on there. So that's what I would encourage everyone who might be interested in more information to go on that site and drop us an email and we'll be happy to talk to you more about.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, final words are going to go to both of you. So is there anything else about Del Tech or about the program that you just would like to mention to our audience before we close out?
So I've been here, this is going to be my 10th year and I can't believe I've been here 10 years, but it's really been a lot of fun. And one of the great things I love about working here is we didn't go in the classroom because there's not a lot to see in the classroom, but there's only 16 seats in our classrooms. That means hands-on individual instruction. There's 16 people in my class. I went to Penn State, Dan did too, right? I took all my freshman year classes with 200-300 people. Here there's 16. So I know everybody's name in my class. I know their story. We really get to know the students. So, you know, we know their kids' names. We know where they're going in their future career. And that's really been rewarding and being a part of this program and this school. It's like really getting to know the students and to see them grow.
Yeah, and I concur with that. I think that's one of the, because I've never gone to community college, a couple 4-year schools and so forth. And so I didn't understand what it's all about. But it's much more personalized education. To Jen's point, I mean, my freshman year, at a Penn State, I had an 800-person biology class at 8 in the morning. Like, I'm sitting in the mezzanine, you know, and like, it's not personal at all. And here, from day one, I mean, 16 is kind of a big class for us. Most of my students, I mean, honestly, they have my phone number, they text me. I mean, it's that kind of education. We give you the space that you need, but we're here to help. And it's like, it sounds cliche, but it's kind of like we end up a family environment because you get to know your classmates, you see the same folks throughout the career, but you have different classes as well. But I think just that personalized, a small class size, and I think one of the really important things about Delaware Tech, all of us here are hired to teach, and that's it. So we're not here to do research and bring in grant money. I mean, that's great. We work on those too on the side if we can. But our goal, and I said at the beginning, it's the center of everything we do, and we really do mean that. We are professional educators. We go through training all the time. We're always, maybe too much sometimes, but no, it's all great. So we can never be too good of a teacher. And so we really, really take it seriously. Like that's what we do. We teach. We stay in touch with the advisory board. We figure out what's going on in the industry. We prepare our students. It's all about students. I mean, that's all we do here. It really is. So everything we do does focus on student success. And if that's kind of, for a lot of students, that's the difference between fading in, to the background and just fading off the, sort of falling off the map. Like you can't fall off the map here. Like we won't let you fall off the map. So I think that personalized education, and we like to have fun. We like, we really enjoy this. It's very personal. Hopefully when COVID is, it'll be a little more personal once COVID is done. We've adjusted as we need, but it really is just a unique educational opportunity with all this really great cutting edge technology that you get to use literally from day one. So all this stuff is yours to use as soon as you start.
Well, that is the perfect answer. So I am also, I completely forgot this until like a few minutes ago, but I actually graduated from Del Tech too.
Oh, nice.
Not energy management. I actually took visual communications, graphic design, but you're right. The same climate applied. It was easier to do things at my pace, to get a lot of help from the instructor. I always felt like somebody was there when I needed that assistance. So you were right.
Great.
That's definitely that Del Tech climate, and I can appreciate that myself. So with that, thank you both so much for coming on today. Thank you for all the information you brought. Thank you for inside tour of the buildings on today. I really appreciate it. I definitely think we should have you guys back, maybe even some students. We'll see what we can come up with later this year. But I just love being able to highlight that this is the starting point. One of the main questions I get from people is, how did you start what you're doing, or how can I get into your field? So thank you for bringing this information so people know that the field is there and that there is amazing instruction right here in Delaware available for anybody. So with that, I'm going to tell our audience, thank you for tuning in. Please come back next week. We're going to do it all again with a new topic. So if you have any questions, I did put Delaware Tech's information right into our comment box, as well as the information for Energize Delaware. You can always reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with them as well. So with all of that, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Have a great one, everybody.
Thanks, Angie. Take care. Thank you.